I'm going to go over fingering, voicing, and harmonies of phrasing as well, of Wiegenliedchen number 6. The first thing I do is I have designated my fingering, which is totally my own. I wanted to avoid any injuries. For me, this worked. It might not work for a different hand. So I blocked the chords with the fingering that I've designated here. And I want to bring out, as far as voicing, this top note, which is double stemmed. Now you'll notice when I do that not all are legato, but they will be legato when they add the triplet under it, because there'll be fingers that allow me to do legato between the triplets. But the first thing I do is designate my fingering and block out the chords. So 4-2-1 is a nice supple wrist. 5-3-1, that's the tonic, the G major. We're in G major. This is a 4 chord. It's going to fall down a little. That measures a 4 chord. We're back to the tonic G. We're still in G major. And we go to the 6th chord, 4-2-1. 5-3-1. 4-2-1. 5-2-1. 3-2-1. Echo, 4-2-1. 5-2-1. 3-2-1. Modulation to A minor by way of a secondary dominant. Intensify, crescendo. 5-2-1. 4-2-1, fall back down. 5-3-1. Notice I hear the top note. 4-2-1. 5-3-1. This is all A minor. 5-2-1. Now we have here a pivot chord. A minor is tonic in A minor, but it's also the 2 chord of G major. It's a pivot chord that helps us come back to the G major. So we're back to the home key. 4 chord, 1 chord. So you actually did hear the threading of the melody through that. Now the challenge here comes when you play the triplets relentlessly and you try to make legato out of the whole stream. Now, there's one thing to notice about how he phrases this, and most people don't. What you see in the first 2 measures are 4 different quarter notes which thread the melody, and then you see an answer with 4 more quarter notes. But then you see quarter, quarter, half note. That's 3 notes. And then you see 4. You have to be aware of these groupings. So this is 4 note grouping first. I'm also rotating, okay, a breath here. See that answers. A little breath here. That's 3 notes. Answer. Now here's where it leads to A minor, intensifies. 4 notes. Notice the rotation. Technically speaking, he wants you to hold these double stem notes all the way through the triplet. That's a little bit hard in some places. So the pedal helps, and what you want to do is kind of drag as much as you can. But you're not always gonna be able to do that. It's a little break there. really believe you should go clear across. I think you have to have these little breaths, because these little breaths, they're not gasps, but they're little breaths create the way you would vocalize it. Now the left hand is going to be really interesting, because here you have 4 notes in one group. Now my fingering, I go straight down to 3, 4. Because that's a group of 4, now a group of 3. Group of 4. Start something new. Now a new group of 4. 2, 3, 4 I use. Group of 3 notes. Group of 3 notes. You have to be aware of these subgroupings when you play this, in the way I certainly believe it should be done. Doesn't mean that you're literally stopping the waterworks in the middle of these phrases, but you're taking the breath. That's important. Now the rotation that I was talking about is when you go quicker, you're not going to see these big motions. They're going to size down into little rippling motions. Now in this middle section, we go into D major. And let's see what the left hand is doing. 5, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1. It's a triplet. 3, group of 4 notes. Groups of 2. This is going to be important. 2s. And this is 4 notes again. 3 notes. So you have to think of the way that he's phrasing the left hand. It impacts the right hand, of course. 4, 1, 5, 3. By this time, he's wound his way back by way of the D major 7th chord, brings us back to G major. That's a dominant of G major. So now he's back to the beginning. Is actually phrasing for you. It tells you how to group the notes. But in terms of fingering, blocking first, 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. And this you stay in position, 4, 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1. Now this is a set of sequences. I'm going to show you what the harmonies are here. If you have sequences, you try to use the sequential fingering. But what's happening here, we're in D major, is he goes from the 4 chord to the 2 chord, the 5 chord to the 3 chord, the 6 chord to the 4 chord. You know, it's with inversions. If you didn't have the inversions, you'd have this. Let's see, 4 chord, skip down. 5 chord, skip down. 6 chord, skip down. I mean, it's a beautiful place because of that. It really is almost the climax, leading to the climax right there. So the sequential fingering I use here, let's go back a measure with this 4 chord to the 2 chord. So I use 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1. Now, technically you can use 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1 again. But what I found myself doing almost naturally was mostly that 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 5. Somehow 3 felt good to me here at the end, which I fell into. It's the only difference in that one spot where I put a little parenthesis in my music for myself. But this is a place where suddenly the escalation of the music is by these groups of 2s, 2 sets of triplets. So one set, another set, new one. That's the second of the two. 1, 2, 1. Now he's going to back to 4. See, that's very important to notice that. Now the left hand gives it away because after he does this, here come the twos. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Now 4 again, and 3-note group. This is so important, intrinsic to playing this beautifully. 4s, 4 groups of notes, 4 notes in one group. And now we're back home. So the hardest place for most students is going to be this sequential place. You can block as we go back to the 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 1 here. So blocking is very important with the designated fingering. That's a big surprise. We didn't expect that. We thought he was going to go to D major. So this is a surprise to a diminished chord. Diminished. So beautiful there. The second time, he's going to lead us back home to the home key. So some of these surprises, you have to do something with an unexpected harmony that occurs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the groups of 2, 4, 2, 1. Group of 4 now. The rotations work a lot, and also the groupings of the notes. The sequential fingerings are important too.